Hello guys and welcome back to Repair and Resell. In today's video we're taking a look at this controller which I have a stuck B button right here. But before we do the repair, I would like to thank all of you because we just reached 1,000 subscribers. This is a really huge milestone and I'm really happy to have gone this far in my YouTube journey, and I hope it will continue like that and that I will have the privilege to do more video for you so we can continue to show all the different problems in the video game industries. So if we come back to this controller with the stuck B button, basically I'm gonna start by showing you some tips on how you could maybe fix it from the outside, because some of you don't like to open your controller. First of all, what you can do is that you can press your B button at different angle, and this might help you to pop it out. But in some case, it will just get stuck back while you're playing with it, which is not really what you want, but maybe it could get you out of trouble for some time. So try it at a different angle. Mainly when the button is stuck is either because of dirt or because a part is broken inside. I will show you how to change this part later on the video, but if you want to try to clean the button from the outside, what you should try to do is to do it with some isopropyl alcohol 99%, because you don't want any liquid to get into the controller and to damage it permanently. So what I'm gonna take is I'm gonna take Q-tips and I'm gonna take some my IPA, and I'm gonna just pour some on the Q-tip just like that. And you can try to clean it the best you can from the outside. Try to getting in the crack between the button and the controller, but this might not work the best. You can also press it at the same time, but this button still feel a lot mushy, and a good fix inside might be needed. Yeah, it still feels mushy compared to the other button. The tricks that we do succeed to unjam it a little bit, but if we want it to be really fixed, so we can if you want to resell it, we will need to take a look in the inside. So as usual, I will put links in the description below if you want to know how to test your controller or if you want to know how to open them. But for now we're gonna jump straight into the repair. So I've started taking the controller apart and I've removed all the screws, so we can remove this part right here. And what we can already see is that there is some stuff right here. This seems like a straw, so somebody tried to unfix it with a straw, maybe. There is some part right here. At this step, you still didn't take the controller apart enough so you can fix it if you think it's feel mushy. So what you can do is still, if you don't want to go further in the disassemble, you can try to clean your B button again with the isopropyl alcohol and IPA. Get a good clean right here. Try to get the most dirt you can off of it, and this B button already start to feel better compared to the other one, just by removing all those stuff and by starting to cleaning it up. And you can also take a look at the cover right here. This one, it doesn't seem too dirty, but I will still clean it a little bit with a bit of IPA. And if you want, you can also take whatever tool you want to just scratch it a little bit, just like that, because IPA is not that good to remove the stuff like food or thing like that, but you will make sure not to cause liquid damage in your controller. But if you really want to give it a good clean, any plastic part of your controller, you can wash them with some just water, and so just make sure they're completely dry before reassembling the controller. But for the moment, the part that we saw will not need such big cleaning. Now that you're done to this part of the controller, you will still need to go a bit further in order to be able to fix that B button if it's still not as responsive as you want. For that, you will need a T6 screwdriver. What is a bit sad with the Xbox One controller is that you need two types of screwdriver to open it up. You will first need a T8 screwdriver for the outside of the controller, and you need a T6 for the screws on in the inside of the controller. And in the inside there is one screw here that I just removed, and there is another one here for the first motherboard to come off. I will also remove the thumbstick because they will get in the way. And now when you remove this motherboard, you need to be really careful not to break it. Basically there is two connector inside that is, maybe you won't see it really much, but there is two things. There is one here and one a bit more here. So I will show them to you once the motherboard is out, but I basically just wiggle it a bit back and forth until it come off. And when it's off, you can flip it like that. Yeah, I'm definitely able to flip it, but it's not easy. Just like that. And the motherboard is out of the way. Now you continue to unscrew all the screws. There is 6 on the other motherboard, if I make no mistake. Actually, there's 7 of them. There is one here, one here, one here, and one here. There is also one right there, and one right there underneath, just like that. So when you will open this up, you will find them pretty easily. But for the moment, I will just fast forward, and I'm gonna remove all those screws off camera. Another thing you need to remove in order to be able to access to the B button is basically this thing right here. You lift it up there. You press the X button at the Xbox button, in fact, at the same time, and you lift this up the best you can. And you try not to break it, so you're doing it really carefully, and it will slowly come off. And here we go. So removing this allow you to remove this bottom part of the PCBs really easily. Oops, no, okay, that's the rumble motor are really annoying. So if you want and you're good at soldering, you can desolder it so you can have better access. So here it is. That motherboard just came out. I will put it aside because what we want to see is basically our B button. So we're taking the conductive pad of the button off, and I'm taking a look at it right now. Basically, I'm taking a close look at the conductive pad because sometimes it will get used around the buttons right here, a bit around. You will see that it's open, and this will affect the spring effect of these buttons. But this is the B button, if I make no mistake, and it's going really well. It has no problem going back up, as well as the other one. So it basically means that in our case it was just a dirty button, but if you're having some trouble and this is look like it's broken, and this might be the reason why your buttons are not going back up, so maybe try to change this and it might solve your issue. For now, we're gonna go to the B button. We're gonna take them off. Basically, what you can do at this point, you can just flip your controller and all the buttons should fall off. So I'm gonna put this one aside and we're gonna take a look at the B button to see if we can see anything with it. Fast like that, I think that the previous thing that we did solved the issue. What I'm gonna do really fast is that I'm gonna clean it really good, just like that. For the moment, I can't see anything on the button itself that could cause it not to work really well. I will also scratch it a little bit. If there is some dirt, I'm using basically a toothpick because it will not damage the button. Aesthetics, it will not scratch it or anything. And if there is some dirt, it should be enough to see what is going on. So this look really good. So what you do, those things also, you can wash them with soap and water if they're really dirty. Just make sure they're completely dry before reinserting them. And I'm also going to take a look at the frame right here. I'm going to clean that part also, but it still look good. Basically, I'm not seeing anything in that could have caused the button to be faulty. Okay, so that's still good. And I'm gonna give it a scratch test just to make sure. And I cannot see anything on the side too. Nothing is going off with the scratches. This looks like it's clean and there is no stickiness to it, so that's pretty good. A last thing you can do if this doesn't work, if all of this doesn't work, in fact, is a bit desperate way to try to fix the issue is that you can sand the side of your button a little bit with a really soft sandpaper. You can do the same thing with your the inner frame of your button that is not working, and the same thing with this part right here with the button that is being stuck or a bit sticky. But only do that if you're really desperate, because once you send the button or the frame, you cannot unsend it back. So now what you get to do when you try all this, your issue should be fixed, and you can put back the button on the right spot. And all the buttons right here have some little tabs all around them, which make them only possible to fit in on one way. And when you put them correctly, they will found down their hole just like this. Once this is done, you can put this thing back in place. The black part needs to face toward the PCB, so toward you in that case. You put it just like this. Firmly in place. And now that I told you that, I will just fast forward to some more difficult part of the assembly. So once the bottom PCB is back in place with all the screws, the first thing you want to do before doing anything else is that you flip that over and you try the different button to see how they feel. The B button might feel a bit weird because actually the B button goes on the other PCB, but look at the button, make sure they are all on the correct order, and you can try it, all of them, just to make sure that they feel good. And if one of them look weird, it's because it's not reassembled correctly and that you will need to take a further look at it. So now that this is done, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna really much be really happy to snap this back in, because I'm a bit tired of the rumble motor going always out of it. So I'm flipping it back just the way I did the other time, just like that. And there is another one here, so I'm gonna clip it too. And now I can test the B button, and the B button now feels really good. So that was probably just some dirt that was going somewhere, and through different steps that we do, we succeed to clean it. The controller is now fully reassembled, and the B button still feels really good. It doesn't feel mushy anymore. Maybe it was a bit of that kind of plastic straw that was making the B button not working great. You saw a different level on how to clean the button on your controller, and maybe you will just need to clean it from the outside and it will work. So most of the time, stock button like the Y, the X, the A, the B, those two buttons right here, and the Xbox button, mainly these one will get stuck because of dirt sometime, but other time it can be the conductive pad, the part that I show you in the video, that is faulty. But for the moment, we succeed to fix this controller and it's now ready for resale. I hope that you enjoyed this video and have a nice day.